Where does marketing fit into the overall organization? Remember that saying from David Packard, the co-founder of Hewlett Packard, marketing is too important to be left only to the marketing department. What he was really referring to was strategic marketing, which is the ultimate overview. Strategic marketing is central to what the organization does. Strategic marketing is key to what your products are, who your customers are, what markets you compete in, essentially everything. So when we talk about strategic marketing, sometimes people refer to that as strategic management, kind of interchangeable terms, but that is a little bit different than operational marketing. When we're talking about operational marketing, we're talking about that marketing orientation towards satisfying customer needs and wants while meeting objectives within the context of what you're currently selling. So we could have three different types of orientations, if you will. A production orientation focuses on the internal capabilities of the firm. You just try to produce more. And historically, there have been lots of times when companies have more of a production orientation. When you've got a production orientation, you're basically taking the mindset that, you know what, whatever you can make, you're going to be able to sell. There's more demand than supply, if you will. When you have a sales orientation, your focus is on having aggressive sales techniques and focus on just selling, selling, selling. In other words, you focus on selling what you can make. That's a little bit different than a marketing orientation where you focus on making what you can sell. In other words, satisfying customer needs and wants while meeting organizational objectives. You think out to, okay, what does the marketplace want? What does the marketplace value? The issue of sales versus marketing is really that issue of, do you sell what you can make, or do you make what you can sell? And we'll talk more about that sales versus marketing orientation a number of times. But let's just look at an organizational chart. Organizational charts oftentimes look like this. They've got who the various players are, and who reports to whom, and so on. Let's take a look at Apple. We like to look at Apple because they're such a good company. So here's Apple's current top level organization chart. And one thing that's really interesting, if you look at these VPs here, the VP design, the VP iOS software, the VP worldwide marketing, those are all traditional marketing orientations, if you will. Marketing orientations. It's kind of interesting because Steve Jobs, the former CEO of Apple, had kind of an interesting organizational chart layout at one time. He was at the center of the universe, if you will. And the thing that I find kind of interesting about this organization chart of Apple is it's very, very similar to the so-called product management organization chart. One of the best marketing companies in the world is Procter & Gamble, P&G. And P&G really pioneered this product management system. And in the product management system, the product manager is the key person for everything regarding his or her assigned product line. So being a product manager on a Procter & Gamble product line is kind of like being president of your own little company. And Procter & Gamble has lots and lots and lots of different product lines. For example, here's the look at just some of P&G's product lines. They've got some very, very big, well-known product lines that you're familiar with that are all over the map that range from cleaning products. You've got Mr. Clean to personal care products. There's Head and Shoulders to cosmetic products. There's CoverGirl to laundry products. There's Tide to oral care products. There's Scope, and so on and so forth. They are just all over the place. Lots and lots and lots of different products. Now, many of those product lines, Procter & Gamble figured out that, hey, there's a need out there in the marketplace that's not being adequately covered, and so they created a product to fulfill that need. That was the so-called marketing orientation, satisfying customer needs and wants. Of course, there's lots of categories in which Procter & Gamble operates where the marketplace need was very, very well established, and so they just created a product line and sold it very, very well. And that's back to that orientation we were referring to earlier, the sales orientation versus the marketing orientation. Sales versus marketing. Do you sell what you can make, or do you make what you can sell? One thing that's so interesting about the whole sales orientation is Salesforce itself is a strategic marketing decision. For example, the decision to have a sales force is a decision to how to go to market. Three companies that have very, very aggressive selling orientations are Herbalife, Amway, and Avon. Those are all direct marketing companies, and by that it is they go directly to the end customer through direct salespeople, Herbalife, Amway, Avon. Well, simply making the decision to have that type of organization was a strategic marketing decision. Most of the time when we're going to be talking about marketing, we're going to be talking about that marketing orientation, that satisfying customer needs, because that's the real key thing. Marketing meets the needs of diverse stakeholders. And so we're going to use that marketing meets needs orientation, throughout the course. That's the marketing concept in a nutshell. Marketing meets the needs of diverse stakeholders. And that marketing concept is simply identifying and satisfying consumer needs to ensure long-term profitability. The marketing concept is identifying and satisfying consumer needs to ensure long-term profitability. Now, there's no doubt about it, marketing management philosophies have changed over time. If you go back to the beginning of the 20th century, it was really much more of a production orientation. Henry Ford, the Ford Motor Company, just make as many cars as you can. Into the 30s and 40s and 50s, it was much more of a sales orientation. But really, from the 1960s on, it's been much more of a marketing orientation where you focus on what customers need and want, and you try to satisfy those customers. Customer satisfaction is really the objective of marketing. It's the customer's evaluation of a good or service in terms of whether that good or service has met their needs or expectations. That's really the crux of customer satisfaction. They're satisfied if the good or service has met their needs and expectations. Nowadays, there's more and more focus on not just having satisfied customers, but having long-term satisfied customers, having those same customers come back again and again and again. And the term that is commonly used nowadays for that is relationship marketing. Now, relationship marketing is a strategy that focuses on keeping and improving long-term relationships with customers. And so to have successful relationship marketing strategies, companies need to have personnel that are customer oriented, which oftentimes comes from effective training programs, empowered employees working together. And this concept of long-term satisfied customers is really at the heart of the marketing orientation.